Well, SoFi earnings are out, and all I gotta say is, darn you, Anthony Noto, darn you. I am so just angry right now about SoFi earnings because all I asked for was some cheap SoFi stock so I could scoop up some more at a great cost basis. And these earnings probably went and screwed the whole darn thing up. And so I don't, if that doesn't make you just a little bit angry too, well, I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit angry about it. Okay, I'm a lot angry about it, but still, I think we have some incredible days ahead of us, and I guess that's a silver lining on this whole thing. So maybe I don't get the same cheap SoFi stock I was hoping for, at least not right now, probably sometime in the not too distant future. But do we have $100, $100 SoFi stock coming our way? We'll take a look at their earnings and see if that's any sort of possibility to happen and what sort of time frame that can happen in. So as of this morning, we're trading around $22, but then I think that will most likely hit about $25 in the very near term. We'll watch and see if we get that, potentially a little bit more. So we're talking about a 4x. By the way, I'm going to put out a whole bunch of numbers. We'll put them out over at the Discord. Me and a bunch of other panel experts over there dedicated to helping you towards striving for financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolio. Come check it out. Links in the description. Code word doctor. The expiration on that is soon, so make sure you take advantage of it. All right, guys, so let's pop into their earnings. There we go, for their investor presentation, and see what I'm talking about in terms of $100 SoFi stock. So I gotta say, when we look at these, I said it before, the Anthony Noto is a grower and a shower. This guy just keeps on growing this company. If the news ever comes out that he's stepping down as CEO or they lose Anthony Noto as CEO, SoFi stock's probably going to take that big hit, and maybe I get that cheap stock that I'm looking for. I don't know why he would ever move out of where he's at right now. The guy just keeps on putting out result after result after result. He knows how to run a very streamlined company that just keeps on showing that track record for growth. 44% year over year on the record adjusted net revenue that they have here, 29% for adjusted EBITDA margin, and then GAAP net income of 11%. And the numbers just keep on impressing. Fee-based revenue, this part is huge, by the way, that shift of 72% year over year fee-based. So massive growth there, and it's about half of their adjusted net revenue. So that shift, I think, is one of the big things, especially with that push into crypto, is one of those big things that can show us for SoFi that $100, that 3-digit price tag on SoFi stock. Now, let's keep on moving on through here and look at some of the other numbers that they put out. So tons of products and services, lots of diversification here, one-stop shop for digital financial services, and further announcement of moving into crypto within this year. So let's keep on going down and look at some of the numbers that are on this thing. So compound annual growth rate is what this is, of 51% for their members. And with that fee-based revenue model, that can be absolutely huge. And then we move over here to the products, 53% compound annual growth rate there as well, up 34% in 2025 for that Q2, and that's the year-over-year growth numbers. So that would be the numbers that we're looking for back in Q2 of 2024. So let's move down from there. There we go, into the durable growth that they have here. And this is the cool stuff that we're looking for, the increased guidance that we get. So this 960 is up from like 854. So not only does SoFi keep on putting out strong numbers and strong growth metrics, but they keep on increasing guidance as well and getting beats. Wait until we look over at the charts to see the last time that they didn't beat on earnings or revenue. It's actually pretty darn impressive. So with no sign of slowing in sight, this is pretty cool for adjusted net income. Check this out. So 2021 up through 2025. In 2025, yeah, they have some projection here, $370 million in the guidance that we have going on over what we have right now. And so we have Q2's adjusted net income on top of that. 97 million. Awesome to see that. So that means that we have a ton more adjusted net income coming, growing on top of Q2's numbers that we have. And like I said, I'll cook up all these numbers and we'll see exactly what it looks like. I'll share it over at the Discord. I'll also bring it out here eventually over to YouTube as well, but you'll probably see it there first. So for the adjusted net revenue, check out just the growth that we have with this outline, this Q2 annualized here, and most likely with the growth numbers that they have, we'll see a beat above this 1.9 billion, probably pushing in the low to mid $2 billion range for the adjusted net revenue. And then fee-based revenue, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit more of that one. There you go, fee-based revenue in millions, so year-over-year growth up 72%. And you can just see the increase. We're hitting that inflationary moment. Not inflation in terms of devaluing, but the fact that we are this inflection, if you will, from this low, steady up to these astounding numbers that we see. And like I said, I mentioned the crypto side a couple times. If they move to a fee-based revenue model, the crypto side of things should print very handsomely for them as well. It should translate to the top and bottom lines extremely well, given the models that they have. And you can see the light blue here is the fee-based revenue. When we look at the revenue mix, so that fee-based revenue kind of flat around 25-ish%, then 37, now 44 for their revenue. So this should, with their expanding revenues, with that overtaking of that fee-based side of things, that should translate very, very well, given its rapid growth for us. And it really should push things forward towards that $100 SOFI stock price tag. So for this long-term approach that they have here, you can see the adjusted margins. The margins are starting to level off, but they're very healthy margins, running close to 30%, up from 9% back in 2022. So we jumped to 26, 21, 26, and then 29. So up by 12, up by 5, up by 3. So we might be seeing a slowdown at that, but we'll see as we get in through the rest of 2025 what that number comes out to be. So what we see on this, by the way, so just the adjusted earnings real quick, the guidance for 2025 is currently sitting at 31 cents. And now, mind you, background market bias can definitely impact this. And then also, we'll say turmoil from throughout the world. So we always have that black swan risk that's out there. We have economic downturns that can happen. All that stuff can affect it. But for right now, I trust in Anthony Noto, given his past, that he can navigate through these times, even if we hit some rough patches along the way, that as the economy, should it go into a weaker state, or the market goes into a weaker state, that SOFI will continue to maintain its value, not necessarily saying that the stock price would stay the same, but if the stock price would go as cheap as I'd like it to go, which, by the way, I would like the stock price to drop down to $10. I know it's a pipe dream at this point in time. It probably won't happen unless something goes seriously sideways. But as long as SOFI is staying on their continuous movement that they have right here, as long as nothing fundamentally weakens about the company, that would be a 10x return. And that is why I'm so darn angry about the earnings today, because it makes it harder for me to get that $10 SOFI. So tangible book value increasing rapidly for us. So like I said, as I go through this, without getting into too much detail of what they have, which, by the way, when they show the net revenue, this light blue part, again, the non-interest income comes from fee-based revenue, it says, and that has jumped up 20% just from one quarter to the next. Whereas when we look at the net interest income that they were generating, that coming in 22, so about 10 to 15% gain from quarter one to quarter two. So not moving nearly as fast sequentially that we would see for the interest income side of things. So that non-interest income is huge and rapidly growing, and you can see the margin contributions as well. So I'm going to put that down for right now without getting into too many specifics, because I haven't really calculated through those numbers, but just at some rough estimates. So for revenue, for them to go from the $3.3 billion of expected revenue for 2025 up to $10 billion that we would get for that, comes out to like a 25% compound annual growth rate, and that's lower than what they do right now. And if we were looking to go from about $960 million, so about $1 billion in on the profit side of things, up to $4 billion, so 4xing there. So either one of those metrics, nearly 4xing, should take us up to that $100 SOFI price. That takes like a 33% compound annual growth rate for that revenue. And we'll see what the other growth metrics that they have going on and the expansion of that fee-based revenue. I think that it becomes more and more reasonable that over the next 5 years that we see that happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened in as little as 3 years for us to hit that $100 price tag. So 4xing their stock price from, we'll just call it a $25 price tag, even though it's above what it's at right now. 4xing from there, even if you want to call it 5xing, happening in 3 to 5 years, should give us that rampant growth that we're looking for with a company that has a proven track record of returning to its investors. So let's go from there into the charts on this, just because I want to go through and pick through the numbers that we have. So as of right now, TradingView has not updated what we saw here, although it was expected. We got 7 cents for earning 7 cents per share. We got 8 cents per share, and we also beat the revenue estimate of 843 million. I think that came in north, maybe 853. Let's see if we actually have some numbers here in the headlines. For the revenue, 854, almost 855 million. So beat on both, given the estimates that we have. And then we also have a beat here going back to the previous quarter, and then beat, and then we can just keep on doing this for SOFI. So when I said grower and a shower, it's because, man, keeps on growing this company. There we missed back. I had to go all the way back to the October earnings report that we got, or the earnings report back in October 2023 for the September ending quarter 2023, where they missed on earnings. But that was, I believe that one was healthfully explained and expected. And I think that had to do maybe with the Galileo acquisition or something, or maybe it was the banking chart. There was something that was very much expected about it. And that's why you saw more of a bottoming. And after earnings happened, it popped up anyway. So yeah, that time didn't beat, but if we keep on going and call that a one-off beat, and like I said, that just keeps on going back a while. And so you guys get the picture. There we go. I just want to go back until we got to this point. So August, the earnings that reported ending June 21, reported in August of 21, when they were still just a SPAC company joining the stock market. They missed. So we'd have to go back like 4 years in history to actually get a true miss for those earnings. So, and yeah, you can count the one in October if you want to. Up this morning, up to $23. If we put the technicals up here, where do we find ourselves? Well, there's a whole knot up here, a big old tangle. If we can open up above 23 and hold on to it, we could see ourselves up at $25 today for SOFI. And that's why I keep on talking about the $25. If instead we sell off, we can catch ourselves a couple different places, 23, 22, 40, 22, and then down here at about $21 per share. I just, without something changing in the background market bias, something just fell. Without something changing in the background market bias, I don't see them pulling back hard today. But the market does its thing, and it does some weird things. But that, to me, would be some cheaper SOFI stock anyway. Maybe not the $10 that I really wanted, or the $13 that I was hoping for, or maybe even the $15. But, you know, we'll see what the market brings to us. And as long as SOFI stays that fundamentally strong company that I believe that it is, well, then we should have some very, very green days ahead of us, even from this current price. But like I said, I'm watching for those days, for those discounts to come around. I have a list of what I call good companies that, as those prices fluctuate, and if they go down to the cheaper side of things, to me, that's where I get a little bit more hungry, and that's where I really start to deploy that cash. You guys can let me know what you think of SOFI. Are we going to hit that $100 SOFI price tag in the next 3 to 5 years? Are we going to see that rampant growth continue for them? Is going to be expanded growth, slower growth? Have they kind of hit an inflection point where they're just going to slow down from here, or are they just getting started? Let me know down in the comments, guys. Otherwise, I'll see you over in the Discord. Don't forget about that link, or the code word doctor, which expires. That coupon code, discount code, is expiring very, very soon, so make sure you take advantage of it. And if you guys want to learn technical analysis, how to trade using technicals, and then also on the options side of things, if you learn how to trade options, there's also a course for that through Stockmo Academy. Links in the description. Code word doctor works for that as well. Try it out, guys. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.